What's up, guys? I'm back for another video. Um, this is a sequel. I talked about this topic before, but last topic was on therapy and the importance of therapy and becoming who you want to be. Becoming that MC, that main character, player one, not player two, not on the sidelines, but really guiding your life to where you want to be. And we talked about therapy as a tool to get how we want to help us get to our envisioned life and turning the thoughts of a better life into actions that make our life better. And therapy was the tool that's helpful for that. And so I alluded to this in the last video that who you associate with is going to be one of the determining factors of the outcomes of your life. So the people that you choose to surround yourself with can either elevate you or can reduce you down to their level. But either way, you're going to acclimate. Why? Because you're a social creature. So I remember back in my day thinking, it's just okay, hang out with a whole bunch of people, they're friends. It has no real big impact on me. One of my things that my mom told me, she was like, show me your friends and I'll show you yourself. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm gonna do my thing regardless. My friends don't really matter. I was like, that's a weird concept and sense of sentiment. And I'm like, friends, what? Having an impact on me? You're tripping. Old people don't know anything. Come to find out with time, it's true. So, give you an instance. If you hang out with millionaires, you hang out with billionaires, guess what? You're gonna acclimate. Typically, you're gonna find a way to, just from them, their daily lives, you're gonna find ways to make more money, more than likely. And if you surround yourself with fools doing foolish things, you may make excuses for them, might say that's their business, but there's gonna be a change in you. If the people that you choose to hang out with day in, day out, your crowd, your circle, the circle of people you're meeting with daily, there's an exchange of ideas every day. And the exchange information highway goes both ways. It's not just one way. You're not just teaching them all the time. They're definitely going to have an impact on you, whether it's you excusing bad behavior or you saying, oh, it's okay, my friend does it, so it's okay if I do it. If you hang out with people who smoke weed all the time, more than likely and you never smoked, you more likely you'll start smoking. You hang out with people who drink every day, more than likely you'll start drinking or excuse drinking every day, saying that it's not a problem. There's going to be a compromise of values. So there's a saying that iron sharpens iron. And what that means, if I take two pieces of iron, so let's say a sharper blade and a dull blade, that sharp blade will make the duller blade acclimate to its level. And then let's say I take the dull blade can, depending on the sharpener, it can make the blade duller or sharper. It all depends. But there's an exchange of values. There's an exchange of how you see the world. And if you hang out with wise men, your company's wise men, you'll become wise. If you hang out with fools, there's going to be a degradation of your mindset, and you're going to acclimate to the level of fools. So who you hang around plays a big output on how you see the world. Um, People, if you hang out with people who go to the gym all the time, more than likely you'll start going to the gym. You hang out with runners, more than likely you'll start running. Hang out with people who write books, more than likely you'll find a way to write a book or know how. And so now, as an adult, what happens is when you were a kid, you were a child, you were thrown into social situations and you were playing with other kids. And some kids you found common interests with and common values, you became friends. And same thing with high school and college. There were these social settings which you put yourself in, and there were certain people that you were drawn to. But now, as an adult, where no one's throwing you into social settings, yes, you have to go to work, but you could just go to work, go home, and become a hermit and isolate yourself. Now you have to really choose your friends as an adult. You have to really choose going out, finding people with common values, whether it's finding people who do stocks, or you're finding a friend at the gym, or you're finding someone because you go to this running club, or you're finding someone from, hey, I met them on this game. And so now you're the socialization is on hard mode as an adult. And so you really have to be mindful and intentional with the people you want to surround yourself with. And you essentially look at the fruit of their lives, look at the consequences and results of their lives, and say, hey, how this person is living. Do I want that in my life, or do I want a different outcome? And most of the time, you can just peep how they carry themselves, peep what's going on. If it's someone with multiple baby mothers, do you want to be around that? Do you want to be in certain, do you want to bring yourself into that situation? If it's let's say a married woman and she's hanging out with single women, there's going to be a clash of value. You're either gonna I don't and if you're outnumbered, you're not gonna bring them up to your level. You're probably going to be lower down to their level. They're doing single things and you're married and you're gonna start excusing bad behavior now. What I mean by that is a married woman hang out with her single girlfriends, more than likely she's going to be doing single girl thing. And let's offer another circumstance or scenario: a married woman hanging out with married friends. Guess what? There's a change of atmosphere now. Can she still cheat? Yes, but we're talking about like idealistically. If a married woman's hanging out with married friends, they're going to do married people things versus a married woman hanging out with single friends. The single friends are doing single people things, and the married woman's getting dragged along, and the values change rather than a married woman hanging out with other married women and they're doing things that's appropriate and fine for married women. And so, who do you allow in your circle? Circle meaning my circle, the circle of people who have influence on my life. You can keep people as coworker. You can push them out of your circle of influence. I only see you at work. Out of my circle of influence, I only see you when I see you. You're an acquaintance. You're not close enough to be a friend. I see you every now and then, but we're not close enough to say we're friends. To be friends now is we check up on each other regularly. I value your opinion. I see what you're doing in life, and I'm proud of you. And I choose to keep in touch with you. I choose to check up on you. Why? Because I mess with you, and it's a choice now. And time drifts apart certain people, like always, but now you choose who to keep in your sphere and circle of influence. So friends are important. Friends are gonna dictate a friend, a good friend, man, that can influence you, that can correct you, give you criticism. A good friend to celebrate your ups and downs, that celebrates your ups with you, but when it mourns your downs with you, that they just want your best interest. A friend that can help you out in hard times, and a friend that you help out in hard times, man. That's something to be valued and cherished, and that's a relationship that you want to keep. But to get to the level of friend, we both have to have common values. So remember, so I'll do another video on introverts and extroverts, but everyone is introverted and everyone is extroverted. Oh, I only talk to people that I know that make me feel comfortable. Yes, that's everyone. If you have a friend and you become extroverted around that friend because you feel comfortable and you become introverted around strangers, listen, everyone started out as strangers at one time, and then you made a friend and you feel comfortable around them. You guys shared certain values, um, made each other laugh, commonalities, different things, and then you feel comfortable around them enough to talk to them. And so everyone starts out as strangers. That's how it is. And if your willingness to go out and choose to engage, that you can say, yeah, I'm not as willing to engage as others, or there are certain people who just talk to everybody. We can say that there's varying degrees of outgoingness and shyness, yes. But if you speak to people, yeah, around my friends, I'm an extrovert, and when I'm in a public settings, I'm an introvert. I think it's just labels that people like to wear. like it's like zodiac signs, or people like to really box them into self. So, I'm a Sigma male or Alpha Beta. Granted, people like to box themselves into certain things, but to make friends, yes, there's going to. So, as I said before, as a child, it used to be effortless because you were thrown into certain situations. We had different classes, and we met up. We met in this class. We met during this period, and then we met during this sport. Hey, I met him at the library. Hey, I met him at swim club. It was these sort of social settings that we were thrust into. And now, as an adult, if you want to go out and meet people, and what's the typical that you see on TV? Oh, I met him at the bar. I made him at an adult sport. Met him at the library. You can make friends anywhere, honestly and realistically. But whether you meet at the library, you meet at a game, you meet during a game you play online, um, you meet in a social club. The goal is to assess their character and see the fruit of their life and say, "Hey, man, do I want this guy around me? Is there something that contradicts the lifestyle that I want or contradicts my moral values?" But a brother is a good thing to have. A real sister is a good thing to have. People that share your common values and push you to elevate you. Or even people that don't share your values and you snip them off. And so it's either you're going to elevate to another level or you're going to fall down. And so, man, I'm just in it for the relationships because I've just known them for a long time. After a certain point in life, you have to become intentional. You have to be intentional with your time. You have to be intentional with your money. You have to be intentional with your words and your thoughts. And life isn't a game. And if you want to do well, you prepare to do well. There's a certain level of preparedness you have to have. And when we were kids, things were easy. We didn't have responsibility. Adults have the difference between kids and adults is adults can take responsibility for their actions. If a kid says, "I didn't know," that's different. There's a low level threat. There's an adult that's supposed to be responsible for them. If an adult says, "I didn't know," if you said, "Hey, I didn't know I had to pay my car note. I didn't know I have to file my taxes. I didn't know." Well, you just have to take responsibility now. You got to pay them fines. You got to pay them fees. Do the jail time. Are you in the right mind and able to understand consequences? Guess what? You can read, you can write. Yeah. So that means you should have been able to read. You should have been able to look this up. You should have been able to know that this was due, and you will be punished duly. And your lack of information and knowledge isn't going to be a factor. And if you break the law, you didn't know the law, you're still going to be held accountable. So what you have to do is find friends. And hey, you're talking about only using people to get better or to get worse. Yes, 100%. A friend that's in law school is not what you know, it's who you know. Meaning, that saying means that I can have all the information in the world. I can be literally Chat GPT. But if I cannot relate to people, if I cannot talk to people, if I cannot have social skills and interpersonal dynamics, and I'm just an introvert, I don't talk to people, I don't like relating to people, I have these labels on myself. And humans are social creatures. You put them into solitary confinement because there's no socialization. It's a punishment. People go crazy because you are meant to talk to people. Anyone saying that they love to be in solitary confinement, that's a red flag. There's something wrong with them. Who doesn't like a good conversation? Who doesn't like to laugh with other people and relate to other people and talk to friends? And so I'm telling you to make good homies. There's going to come a time in your life where you're going to be in need, whether it's in need of advice, whether it's in need of money, whether it's in need of an emotional support, someone just to hear you speak. You're going to need something, and choosing the right circle. I'm down, man. Things aren't working out. Someone gives you advice. Say, "Hey, man, take it easy. I see what you're doing. I see you're putting in work. You're doing good. Just keep going on that road. Hey, man, I'm having trouble with my kid. Things are hard. Hey man, and they give you advice during your vulnerable time. And if you think, oh, I'm Superman, I'm never going to have a vulnerable time, you've got a lot to learn. So, a friend, a friend to shoulder hardships with, a friend to cry and mourn with, a friend to boost you up. Friendship's a beautiful thing. Based off our biology, we need friends. We're human. That's part of being human. But you need discernment. You need wisdom to choose the right friends. You don't want to get caught up in a crime. You don't want to be pushing weight or an auxiliary driver. You don't want to be caught in situations that are uncomfortable and unbeneficial to you in the name of friendship. It's a two-way street. If you're giving all the time and you're not getting anything, there's a problem. If and then if you're getting all the time, you want to assess yourself. Am I using this person? Am I appreciating this person? It's a two-way street, and to have a friend is a good thing. So I'd say check yourself. As we said, our goal is to be better. Better men of the future, better women of the future. What we're doing is we're dreaming and we're making goals and plans for the future, and we want to align our lives with those plans and make a plan to the goal, the imaginary goal we view for ourselves, and we want to attain that. That's a dream, and we want to make a goal which is written down, a written down path or network or highway on how to achieve our goals. That way our dreams don't stay dreams. So we're putting in effort, we're putting in a design, we're laying out the path to achieving our dreams by setting goals, whether long term or short term. You want to be free of debt, you want to be a millionaire, you have to set goals. Okay, I'm gonna make $1,000 by this time. I'm gonna make um 10,000 by this time in my savings. I'm gonna make my first 50,000 in my savings by this time. I'm gonna consolidate debt. I'm gonna stop eating out. I'm going to pay double on this credit card, and because I'm paying double, I might only eat ramen here, but by the end of this month, I'll be done with the debt here. And so you want something, and now you're putting a plan to make it practical. You're putting a plan to make it um a plan of action. So you have an idea and you need a plan of action to see that idea into existence. And so the friends around you are going to help you. Who you acclimate to is going to help you. If your friends keep putting off things, more than likely you'll find ways to put things off. If your friends are go-getters and they're hitting their goals, and like I said, they're physically fit and they're good with their finances and they're putting themselves out in social setting, your friends dress better, you're going to dress better. And so you're going to acclimate to the state that they're at. So you want to try hard to choose who's in your circle. Circle meaning the circle of influence, that sphere of influence, the people who are around you so much that they can change your mind on certain things, that they can change you per se. You are a mold of your ideas, of the actions you take every day, of the habits that become character, and what you do every day on a daily. You are a completion of those actions that you take and the ideas that are backing those actions. So if those people in your sphere of ideas can change your ideas, then they can change your habits, they can change your actions. So you want people who will change your actions for the better and not for the worse. Friends. So choose good friends. Have people around you who love you and cherish you. Don't be the fool, meaning you're getting used for what you have, used for your ideas. You're getting used and taken advantage of, and you can't notice it or identify it. And so they squeeze you out until there's nothing left. So be the person who I choose to have you in my circle, not because I'm begging for attention. I'm so lonely that I'll take anyone to talk to me. I'm so lonely that I don't care. I'll pay the money as long as I have friends around. Those aren't friends. And you need to be in the right state of mind. And you need to say, hey, I'm not going to beg for your attention. And yes, is it important to and know how to be function being alone and enjoy your time. But it's also important to know when you put yourself in a social situation, can you handle the certain atmosphere? And if you wanted to make friends intentionally, can you make those friends? Are there things keeping you from working in social settings? Is there any phobia you have? Are you just awkward to be around? Do you just talk too much without listening? Are you a good listener when it's time to give feedback or something? You there's a multiple choice of options you can choose, and you always choose the worst answer. Now people don't want to be around you. Friends, thank you for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. I'm trying to get better and better.